Meyers. Be curious, not judgmental. Be curious, not judgmental. Meredith Meyers.
Be curious, not judgmental. The TV show Ted Lasso featured this quote, attributed to Walt Whitman. It's a good one. I have a couple of stories to share that illustrate why it is a good practice, especially when the data and knowledge you have lead you to question behavior and motives. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, I have two sons, Frederick, who is 19, and Theodore, who will be 16 later this month. I have taught them many things over the years, but most importantly, I hope I taught them to use critical thinking skills and to be curious, not judgmental. Earlier this year, my son Fred gave me a gift. He gave me the gift of perspective. I must tell you what happened when he was in first grade for this to resonate with you like it does me. My husband and I were invited by the school principal to attend a meeting. When we arrived, we were led to a classroom with Fred's first grade teacher, the classroom aide, the music teacher, the librarian, the art teacher, the gym teacher. I think there was someone there from the cafeteria, and maybe even the supervisor for aftercare. The principal said that he needs to ensure all the students, all 174 students in that school, are kept safe, and that he has concerns about Fred doing harm in his school. I was shocked. We went around the room and each person spoke about how challenging Fred can be. His art teacher said, "Fred's great, he's not a problem." As we finished, one of the aftercare teachers came into the classroom. She sat down, apologized for being late, and asked if we were meeting because of the incident with Fred and another student. This was the first time anyone mentioned anything about an incident. She said that another student kept pestering and poking Fred, and they just went over and over and over again, bugging him. Fred asked them to stop. The teacher asked them to stop, but the student never stopped. Finally, Fred pushed them off, just as that student's parent walked in the door and witnessed what happened. I saw the look of shock on everyone's face. This was the first time they had heard the whole story. Do you mean to tell me that all this drama and this meeting happened because no one did their homework, no one figured out what really happened, and you didn't get the entire story? Be curious, not judgmental. Last February, I was at an off-site work event, a Mardi Gras ball in Broussard, Louisiana. I had a conversation with a colleague that quickly escalated into a confrontation because he was extremely intoxicated. He pressed into me. He moved me backwards into a chair against a table. There was nowhere for me to go. He was coming at me with so much aggression and force, leaning into me so much that our noses kept touching, that I believed he would hit me. I squared my shoulders, I stood up, and by the grace of God, he backed away. But eventually, he walked back toward me, he raised his arm and his elbow, and he took his elbow and jabbed me in the shoulder, rotated up to my neck, and back down to my other shoulder. I put that language in the email I sent to CGI after the incident at about 1:30 in the morning, that he poked or jabbed me in the shoulder and rotated around to my other shoulder. I did not want to make a big deal of him gouging me in the neck or the incident, because I really didn't think that he would behave that way if he was sober. And I didn't want to risk him losing his job. My assailant knew that he struck me. He knew that he took his elbow and shoved it into my shoulder, rotated to my neck, and back down to my other shoulder. He acted quickly to form a coalition, to circle the wagons, and to weave a tale of lies about that night's incident to protect himself. He lacks integrity to such a degree he brought others into his web of deception and put their jobs at risk too, because CGI has a code of ethics. They even quoted their own code of ethics in my termination letter. My assailant created a scenario so no one would doubt or question what happened. Earlier this year, a week after I filed a charge of discrimination against CGI, and the EEOC provided me with a right to sue notice, I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at a birthday dinner to celebrate Fred with his girlfriend Lila and her mom, Ryan. It always happens. Ryan asked, "What happened at CGI?" Without missing a beat, Fred said, "In the termination letter, they put that my mom threatened to fight someone. Not only, they said that she threatened to fight somebody twice." My mom would never threaten anyone. It is nothing but lies because some guy lost his cool, didn't want to lose his job, and made the whole narrative that didn't even happen. Thank you for that perspective, Fred. It wasn't until I heard it from him, in his words, with his conviction that it was all a bunch of garbage, that it sunk in for me. There is nothing I need to say to defend myself, because people who know me know what CGI did is unfair. But that's life. Life gives you challenges, and it's about how you react and move on. Sometimes it gives people a reason to stand up for what's right and enact change, so things are done better the next time. Be curious, not judgmental. Mr. Contest Chair.
Madam Timer, could I have a minute of silence?